Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TML F1. We are here tonight for season number 8. It is round 12 at the end of a very long season. We are finally here at the final round as we take in, of course, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix from the Yas Marina circuit. Feel like we've been back in time a little bit. My name is James Head. I'm going to take you to the stream, of course, as always, on a Thursday night. And joining me in the comment box, he is back this week. It is Mr. Alex the G. Alex, how you doing?
Yeah, thank you, James. I'm doing great tonight, and yeah, obviously not the first time we're going to Abu Dhabi in this week, and certainly it has provided us with some great racing, and you know, even with a bit of a, let's say, thinned out grid for tonight, it's still going to be quite the spectacle, I would say. Obviously the threat of rain is not as big as maybe on other tracks, so some drivers might be liking that, but I mean, in the end, we'll have to see how everyone does, and it's still going to be pretty exciting. So, yeah, really looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting indeed. To remind everyone what happened last week, of course, in Mexico last week, it was Harry Banks in the end who took the win. Commentless there in second, Dara Smith in third, after what was a pretty disastrous race from our perspective, certainly from Black Box, well down the field. In the end, he finished fifth. It was enough to beat Elliott in the championship, and it was enough to take him to be the champion for season number 8, with, of course, a rig coming his way as well. That runs us through then to the championship standings coming into tonight as well. Black Box leading the way on 243 points. He cannot be caught tonight, so whatever happens, Black Box will be your champion. Even if Elliott wins, picks up fastest lap, he can only be within 5 points of him by the end of tonight. Links there in third on 143. Harry Banks in fourth at 136. With both of them here, or certainly Harry Banks at least here, it should be a consolidation for fourth position. We've got the battle for sixth going on as well, with Jerry, who was not attending tonight, in Car Mentalist. Everything has gone completely to pot, to be honest, to the end of the season. Very low attendance. Once again, 11 drivers. Volacon, Nate Hawk and Neymar there in 10th, rounding off the top 10 in the standings. But Black Box already wrapping up the championship. It is, though, between Black Box and Elliott still for the constructors, because AlphaTauri lead the way on 344 points, Ferrari in second on 330, and basically all that Ferrari need is for both of their drivers, or Elliott, because he's the only driver here, Elliott, to outscore the AlphaTauris, who are both here, by 15 points. 15 points, that is a real task, but knowing Elliott, he can probably do it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's quite the mountain to climb, of course, but I mean, never say never in this championship. However, yeah, it is definitely a crucial advantage that AlphaTauri do have these two drivers heading into this race compared to Ferrari's just one driver, Elliott, who has done very well this season and ultimately wasn't obviously enough to eclipse Black Box in the Drivers' Championship. They do still have a say in the Constructors, so as I said, never say never, just focus on this final round of the season and see how it goes, really. Maybe there is still some avenue for Ferrari to win this Constructors' Championship, and it's going to have us on the edge of our seats for sure. It's really, really interesting between these two teams throughout the entire season, really. So very, very exciting for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. We are waiting, by the way, if you're wondering why there's a little bit of a delay, we are waiting on Jerry and Nathan. If they don't turn up by 5 past, they will be started without. So we could have 13 drivers potentially. Looks like, though, many people are busy with other things, like Warzone, apparently, that I've just seen use an excuse there in the Discord. Whoever is playing Warzone, get off, get on F1, and get driving here tonight, because we want to see as many drivers. And I agree with Blacks, to be honest, there in the comment section. Apparently getting more drivers for races isn't in TML's vision. A, it's the final race of the season, and B, we probably don't want to get any drivers in because we can have a refreshed look going into Season 9, of course, and we have already got, I can report, quite a few new drivers joining us indeed well, not for tonight, but certainly for Season 9, so hopefully we are going to try and plug that hole. We are doing that by, as well, prioritising those who have attended every single week, week in and week out, the likes of Carmentas, the likes of your one Elliott and Black Box, who might be here next season once again, and obviously prioritising the reserves who have appeared. We are only prioritising reserves that will make it full-time next season, so if you are not a driver that is not going to make it 100% next season, probably TML is going to be the wrong league for you. We're taking that approach to try and get, obviously, the drivers in. I can report as well in the sign-ups, a former TML champion has already signed up, and that man is VSR Jensen, who was re-signed for Season 9. Bit of world exclusive news there on League Racing TV. But yeah, Jensen is going to be joining us once again back for TML F1 next season. But yeah, I've got to agree with Blacks though. I mean, 11 drivers from attendance for a final race of the season is not really that great. WR, I can definitely say from being their lead commentator as well, they've had the same issue this season on quite a few occasions actually with attendances. They have tended to get more reserve drivers in who are available. Luckily for them, they're on a Friday and they're more available than us. Thursday doesn't seem to be a popular day for league racing, it seems, here for TML F1. I could rant on about that and what we're doing for Season 9. That will probably come towards the end of the stream, but we are now getting going, of course, here in Abu Dhabi. 5.2 kilometres then, 3.2 mile, and, of course, 16 turns awaiting our drivers out on track here in Abu Dhabi with... If anything is to go by from last night in EML Premier 1, we should see a lot of overtaking.
Yes, definitely. 2 DRS zones, very much back-to-back, and not short DRS zones either. Very, very long straights that do promote the overtaking. Obviously, one into a nice double left-to-right chicane. Obviously, a very, very good overtaking area, but then can be used for the switchback onto the second DRS zone, which will lead into the long left-hander of turn 8. Yep, there we go. Got that one right. Yeah, so into turn 8 could be promoting some switchbacks in there as well, but still a rather unusual place to maybe make overtaking moves. But we have seen heroics here in the past. Well, obviously only in the only race that we've had here in real life. We have seen some heroics here from one team or another, and certainly we are looking to repeat some of that today. And yeah, let's just get this underway. We see McLaren, NLR Felix 1 seems to be the first to head out onto the track here in TML F1.
Yeah, definitely so, indeed. I've just realised I've got moderator privileges on the chat as well. I've just realised that. I don't know why that's just popped up. Anyway, so if anybody is out of order, anybody makes untoward comments there in the comment section, then you will be probably banned. As Felix Warren, as you say, is the first man out on track there in the McLaren, quickly followed by Dara Smith, who was quite good last night in QRT. He didn't actually race in QRT last night, if I'm not mistaken, for Email Premier 1. Did race though in SRC, was very, very good indeed. David Charhood, by the way, is to a stream for F2. The age-old question is no. That's why there's 2 of us here. Alex can't stream, unfortunately, because of, I don't know what problem you've got, to be honest, Alex. But yeah, it's really weird, that issue that he doesn't have, which is forced him not to stream. Otherwise, Alex would be doing F2 right now. He's with me here for F1. I tried to find a co-commentator to replace Storm as well this week. Didn't go according to plan. Final race of the season. F2 doesn't have a stream, unfortunately. But that is something that I am determined to fix as head commentator next season. And hopefully, with a brand new look commentary team, maybe some old faces returning as well as new. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, F2 not streaming tonight, which means, I think for us, fortunately, we're getting extra viewers, which is good. As Felix Warner is now about to start up on his lap.
Yes, indeed, NLR driver, of course, so someone I know very well, and he's really just in this to practice on the no assist side, because he's only recently turned over to this, and one thing I do know is that rain or anything like that is very likely to disrupt a driver of, you know, his kind of quality. And with Abu Dhabi obviously ruling out the threat of rain pretty much entirely, he'll be looking forward to this one overall. And the 11-man grid certainly aids that one as he heads into turn 4 for the first time. This long left-hand hairpin, now followed by a DRS zone and a big snap of oversteer, which he does seem to catch though. So now obviously the highest speed going to be reached down into the turn 6 and 7 chicane?
Yes.
5 and 6, yeah.
6 and 7, you got it right first time. Oh, and it goes completely straight. Can we do? I think that's the Max Verstappen dive bomb down the inside on Hamilton. That one vibe, I think, that I got from that from Felix Swan. He is off in the middle sector. We were seeing mid 52s through the middle sector last night in EML Premier 1. 54.5, nowhere near. But as you say, he is, I think, in his 3rd or 4th week, I think, actually doing no assist, which is very respectful indeed. We have to commend him, and we can commend any driver that, of course, switches to no assist throughout the season as well. Through the right-hander turn 12, then underneath the grandstand through 13, through the left-hander of turn 14. McLaren going out wide. It is difficult because the wall just comes out on you through on the right-hand side, avoids it quite nicely. Felix now through 15, and then into the final corner 16. This is not going to be a real competitive lap. It's going to be a 25, I think, to the line. Yeah, 25.1. Not a bad lap, not a good lap either. Aston Martin and Darren Smith to the line, and already beaten by nearly a second and a half. So Darren there out on top as Hawk now goes second as well, 24.9. He was saying on Discord that he was going to be struggling tonight as well. Elliot, interesting, there was only coming out the pit lane now as the likes of Neymar have invalidated as well on their laps. Ruti, by the way, on an out lap. I favour him, potentially for pole, given his exploits last night.
They really could, as Harry Banks there, making a one too fast Martin here on these opening runs. Yeah, Ruti Hullet, I feel like, might be a really, really strong driver here for the SR team, obviously, and the Red Bull car that he's now started his lap with. I can see the 100-meter board for turn 1 is already gone, so that'll probably pose an extra difficulty for the drivers trying to spot their braking points, particularly the ones without assists. And now this is going to be probably very difficult. 17.5 first sector, definitely decent, but for a banker, I think he could probably live with that.
Yeah, probably with that indeed. It's the wrong Finn, by the way, that I've mentioned. Ruti was in SRC on Tuesday. It was Sapala that I was on about last night. But, of course, Ruti is going to be up there. Jerry has managed to rejoin the session, though, which is good. So we're now up to 12 drivers. There is hope, after all, in terms of some of the drivers coming in a little bit late. Ruti now coming through the left-hander of turn number 8 on the run down in towards turn 1. It has looked quite competitive, but I think he might have actually backed off this lap. He's running the wide out line, 53.6 in the middle. Not really that competitive, to be honest, through the middle sector. As I say, we were seeing 52.5s, 52.6s in the middle sector last night in EML Premier 1. That was, however, with slipstream effect from some of the teams there last night. Harry Banks out on top, they'll come on to this in second. Darren third, and Ruti, if he wasn't off his lap now, definitely is after that moment, coming through 13.
Yeah, he's had moments really all over this lap. Exiting the chicane already, he had a massive moment of oversteer. Still completes the lap at least to have some kind of delta down and still goes 6th. I mean, that really shows that, you know, these low numbers on the grid here still can promote you into a good position overall. So, on an in-lap, I suppose maybe you could back up a little bit there. Or, yeah, it does look like he is actually pushing again. Oh, yeah. There was telemetry. No, he's on tap. Okay, no. So he's on an in-lap now, he's backed off, and yeah, it's just now really on the drivers to get as good a lap as possible. Now the gaps will be pulled apart maybe a little bit, due to the fact that we really don't have many drivers here, so the field spread, while it obviously is still going to be small, it might be looking a little bigger than it usually does with just this few drivers in the lobby today.
Elliot already on a good lap, 52.9 in the middle sector. Not purple out of everyone, though, in the middle sector. Coming through the left-hand of turn 9, he's got the Alpha Tauri in front of him. Matt Ayuk only can assume, sorry, that's not an Alpha Tauri ahead of him, I'm absolutely blind. That is a Mercedes ahead of him, he needs to get out of the way. That's Scott Buckner just preparing up for a lap, coming through the Marina Bay section, or the Marina section I should say, not the Marina Bay, that's a totally different track. Elliot now coming through the right-hander of 15, then into the right-hander of turn number 16. Should go, I think, third with this lap, on the run toward the line. Oh, he goes quickest! What am I on about? 23.4, goes a 10th quicker than Harry, but the top 5 are separated by less than 4/10 per second, which I think gives cause for a lot of confidence, I think, so far in this qualifying session. Scott Bugner on a lap, coming through his first sector split, coming through the right out of turn of 3. Not going to get a first sector split, he invalidates coming out of turn number 3.
He might well still keep going to maybe just have a lap time down for himself as some kind of delta. Yeah, that is such a close one there on the exit off turn 3. Yeah, it's so easy to invalidate in that section, and yeah, as long as you don't go too wide and just take air over that runoff area, that's usually completely fine. It's just obviously his lap is now gone and he's, well, maybe looking to keep pushing to get some kind of delta for himself, get some confidence and, you know, have something to aim for really in these 10 minutes that are still left to go. And maybe 2 runs, maybe just the 1 run at the end. It's really going to be up to him as to how much he wants to keep going. Now I see a lot of drivers actually down the main straight, starting their laps. So I see the 2 Haas's, I believe, who've just started laps. Yeah,
Daffy I'm on board with. It's just invalidated, and he spins coming through turn number 3 for good measure. He already invalidated going on to his lap, I think. Scott Bugner is invalidated once again. Felix Swan, 17.4 in the first sector, 10th and a half up, and the 10th and a half down, I should say, in the first sector, and it's in the wall! Felix 1 does something that Axelino didn't last night and spun right into the wall, right-hand side. Luckily, Axelino last night spun to the left-hand side, recovered well. He finished, I think, down in 11th in the end. Felix 1, though, absolute nightmare early on for him. Down in 9th position, no front wing, and he's going to have to try and troop back in the pit lane. And Hawk, I believe, is not on the lap either.
So we'll look quickly there with Hawk. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it is going really slowly, yeah.
Nowhere near. I'm not sure if he's made a mistake, maybe in the first sector somewhere, and he's spun. Potentially, I'm not sure. Elliot out on top, though. Harry Banks in second, commenters there in third. Black Box, however, is about to go on a lap. We'll take you on board now of a lap in the Abu Dhabi circuit here at the Yas Marina circuit. I was going to say Yas Marina Bay. I am very tempted to call it that, to be honest. Black Box on the run toward the line, now setting up for his lap. On the run down in towards turn number 1, avoiding the curb, just breaking up the 100-metre board, getting the car turned in. Through turn number 1, very close on the curb there. As you've seen something, I think, in the middle sector. Was that the Aston and the Mercedes by any chance?
Yes, I'm honestly not quite sure what's going on with Scott Butner anyways, because he has the end plates but doesn't have the front wing plank itself on my screen. I don't know what's up with that. It looks so strange on my screen right now. It's extremely confusing, yeah. So, it's mainly that which really throw me off then.
He doesn't have... What? Yeah, it's the same on my screen as well. He takes very good track limits before coming into the pit lane. But yeah, Scott Bugner, not sure what was happening there with him. It is a graphical glitch, I think. That's what they need to fix, Codemasters. Get onto it, please. Black Box now coming through the left-hander of turn number 9. 52.8 in the middle sector. A 10th up on Elliott. If this was a championship decider, Black Box may just well be going for the top step at this moment in time. Red Bull crosses the line there as well. Was I think Neymar going 6th, so not a bad lap there at all from him. Now Black Box coming through 13. Now to the left-hander of turn number 14. Looking very consistent with this lap so far. Black Box, he's only a 10th and a half up in that middle sector, but this final sector, you'd imagine he will get a lot of time through the final corner on the run to the line. Is it going to be provisional pole? No, nowhere near in the end. 23.596, and he goes a 10th and a quarter down on what Elliott had set as Harry Banks has spun on a lap coming through the left-hander or the right-hander, turn number 7.
Do you think this could be maybe straight line speed related, that Black Box has lost out so much in the last sector? It looks pretty unusual, since he did have a very good improvement in the middle sector, but then sort of lost it a little bit in the final sector. Just seeing that as Darren Smith actually spun around there and losing his wing in a very unusual way there in turn 8.
How's he spun there?
Yeah, first of all that, and then I think he just kind of drove straight into the Armco. I don't know if that was completely intended there. It definitely looked very unusual from my end. Yeah, still in P5 at the moment, so still a lot of time to make up. Also, some liberties on track limits, but I mean, he doesn't have a front wing.
He's also got a wing. He's also got an end plate still as well on the left-hand side, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does. The wing plates are still actually hanging over the cars. Ruti now goes quickest, 23.1. Did warn him that he was going to be going quickest here. It is Ruti out on top. It's Elliott in second. Harry Banks there in third. Apologies to Ruti. I didn't see that lap. I think it was a good lap. Obviously, it must be because he's gone 3.5 tenths clear of everyone else in the field. And Ruti loves this track. I remember in another league, I think it was FRL a couple of seasons ago, and Ruti was in there. He won around here that day, so he does like Abu Dhabi. He does show the pace around here, and so far so good for the Scuderia Russell man.
Absolutely, yeah. Abu Dhabi's a very reasonable track now, obviously with these changes that have been made for last year's Grand Prix, of course, but only for this game. And yeah, some really enjoyable corners, particularly in this final sector. Very flowing sections, and I'd imagine a lot more drivers would find enjoyment in this circuit than maybe previously. As let's see if there's anybody on the lap right now. I don't think it's just the two Red Bulls really out on track anyway, so they must be waiting then until the end of the session. It's not going to be much of an issue regarding traffic, therefore they will probably all go out towards the very end and get their final lap times in.
Yeah, well, Neymar's actually down on his lap times. I think he's actually on an in-lap rather than an out-lap. Yeah, he is. coming in on an in-lap. So Neymar and Ruti pretty much done. Means, for the first time I think all season in the qualifying session, we're not going to have any action out on track until somebody decides to come out of the pit lane, which I think will be around the 3-minute mark, probably just after the 3-minute mark. We will see action begin to build on the circuit once again. We have got somebody leaving the pit lane though. Scott Buckner leaving the pit lane in the Mercedes on the run down in towards the underneath section of the pit lane. Of course, in the hybrid era now of Formula 1. This track, of course, was first on the calendar, I believe, in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And it was one Sebastian Vettel, I believe, that took the first win around here.
2009. Let me think back. I believe
Was it?
Yeah, it would make sense to be Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, he's obviously generally been really strong around this track, anyways. And yeah, as a German, there's definitely a pretty difficult weekend ahead. I will say that. So
yeah, it was. I literally just made that up. I thought, honestly, it wasn't Sebastian Vettel. I've just had a look at my little handbook that I've got to the right-hand side of me. It was a Red Bull 1-2. Sebastian Vettel let home Mark Webber that day. Lewis Hamilton ought to have won that race, but he suffered brake problems in the McLaren. So Vettel won, Webber was second. And of course, 2012 around here, Team Lotus picking up their first ever and only ever win to this day in Formula 1 around here in Abu Dhabi. That was, of course, of Mr. Kimi Raikkonen with the famous radio commentary that I'm sure everyone has versed in, which I'm not going to repeat on the stream because I don't even know it off the top of my head.
Oh, I was gonna think that maybe you don't quite know what you're doing, but I think we probably do in the end.
I never know what I'm doing on half of these streams, so it's fine. I'm just trying to make the living of trying to go along as it goes. Scott Buckner is found up for lap and then he spins out of the final corner. I thought he was going to be invalidated, actually. That is not the best way to start on your lap. Scott Buckner coming through turn number 1, now to the left-hander of turn number 2. Hopefully doesn't make a mistake like that on this track, avoiding the curbs on the right hand side. I did see a lap time from Wilson Hughes around here on Twitter. It was a McLaren Shadow, I think, video that he produced, and he looked absolutely brilliant. Some of these guys, not Wilson Hughes, unfortunately. Scott Buckner 4 tenths down on the personal best first sector of a 17.3 from Ruti in that first sector, but Scott now on the run down in towards turn number 6, looking quite good so far. Felix, I know, was on a lap as well. He's coming to the first sector, but he's invalidated. Must have done that through turn number 3, and Scott Buckner now through the chicane of 6 and 7 into the little kink of turn number 8, and then down in towards the hairpin, of course, of turn number 9. His middle sector split is 53.2, even though we made that mistake at the start of the lap. 53.2, and taking turn 9 very, very gingerly indeed. Probably going to be a lap around a second off Ruti, I would think, here.
Yeah, definitely. It looked pretty cautious, really, overall. But, I mean, with the grid that is a little bit smaller than usual, just getting a lap down is going to get you very high up the order. As, yeah, I've just caught that 360. At least he's pulled it off that way, but I mean, that obviously sees no improvement unless he does decide to start another lap, which he does not. Heads into the pit lane, and I suppose that he'll call it a day here for this quali session. Currently P10, we'll see what Delphi does, obviously, but yeah, not the way he would have imagined his quali session to end.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jerry has just asked in the chat, by the way, to me, is it okay to join and do a last to first challenge? I don't see any problem with that, to be honest. I mean, it's 1 minute and 40 to go. He may as well join now. It is against rules and regulations, but it's the final round of the championship. I can maybe put in a good word for him. So, yeah. And now he has actually joined in the Mercedes, so that means we're up to 12 drivers. So, if anybody does come calling for me, yeah, I said Jerry can actually race here tonight. It's the final round of the championship. I'd rather see 12 drivers rather than 11, especially given the pace that Jerry does have around here. He will be a man to watch out for, I am sure, in this race. And if he doesn't come into the top 3 by the end, then probably the wrong decision to let him race.
Indeed, yeah. He's now pretty much put himself under pressure there, as I think Hawk is now one driver to finish a lap in the Haas. Currently in P8, obviously now out of 12, and improves to P7. Just ahead of Neymar, who himself, I believe, is on a lap, though, or is going to be starting one pretty shortly. As, yeah, I don't really have the overview right now. Dirac Smith just starting a lap now, so yeah, that's just all going to come flying in and starting a new lap.
Elliott is on the lap coming through the first sector. I think he's going to be one of the first to actually set a lap. Hawk, by the way, went 7th. Even though I rode on board with that lap, I thought it was really, really scrappy indeed. A 24 flat. If he ironed out his mistakes, he probably would have won 23.6, 23.5, that sort of area. And with black box and comments that's only separated by 0.02 of a second, that is going to be very keen to watch as well. As Elliott now comes in toward the left-hander of turn number 9. 53 flat through the middle sector, same as what Hawk was heading through that middle sector. Felix 1 is retired, coming through turn number 13. Or turn 14, in fact. He's done a Gotifi coming through there, as he now comes around the right hand of turn number 12, then to the left hander of turn number 13. Yes, I did say Gotifi, and Elliott really has a snap. A big oversteer. He has done a Gotifi in the wall on the right hand side there. Felix 1, NLR, as I say, not liking this track. And there, Elliott has backed off his lap down in second. Ruti on a lap, Harry Banks on a lap, but he's actually backed off. Black Box on a lap as well. Not many people improving. Ruti, though, looks to go quickly. He's only 2,000 down in that middle sector. Coming through 13, then to the left-hander of 14, just underneath the grandstand. Then through the double right of 15 and 16 to end off his lap. This has looked very consistent so far from Ruti. The Red Bull now round the final corner on the run to the line. And he goes quicker, just about 500 of a second, and it's a 23.075. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody is getting close to that unless Black Box can try and steal the fray.
Yeah, let's have a look indeed. Both AlphaTauris now coming commentless. The first to cross the line goes second, in fact, onto the front row. But look, he's still almost 3/10 shy of that pole lap. So very strong effort from Ruti Hullet. And Black Box, he can't go up there at all. Only P4 for him. But look at how close that is between P2 and P5. Just 1/10 of a second.
Yep, name on validated as well. That is the end, my friends, of qualifying for the final qualifying session here in TML F1. Ruti out on top, Carl Mensless in second, Dara Smith in third, and I said at the start of qualifying, ignore you, Ruti, at your peril. This man always produces around here in Abu Dhabi. No pressure then, he's out on top by 0.3 of a second.
Indeed, very, very strong performance from him. He's really put himself in a great position in qualifying. And I mean, with the race ahead, maybe he will now be trying to get away a little bit from these guys behind. We know how quick they all are, and we of course also have a fast starting Jerry right at the back in P12, trying to do what he calls a last to first. So we'll see about that one. Definitely going to be a very interesting prospect here. As yeah, definitely. Felix won in P10. Yeah, he just didn't seem to get a lap together in the end. It's just unfortunate for him, really. But it's NLR in Abu Dhabi, apparently, as you pointed out, yeah.
Yeah, Felix One actually saying in the Discord he got sent into the air, locked up and went straight on, and that was at the chicane of 6 and 7, I think. So that's what we caught on board with him earlier on. But it's Ruti out on top, Commentus in second. And everyone, I will run through the grid order. It's Ruti, Commentus, Dara, Black Box, Elliott top 5, Harry, Dalfi, Hawk, Neymar, Felix One top 10 out of those that qualified, and then Scott Buckner and Jerry. Both didn't get lap times, and Jerry, of course, joined the session late. He's down there at the back of the field. Mercedes 11th and 12th, who would have thought that around here in Abu Dhabi? But currently, it is AlphaTauri leading the championship. As I say, Ferrari only need, I think, was it 14 or 15 points, I think they said, coming into tonight. So obviously, if that is the case, then there is going to be some really good racing potentially out on track. And AlphaTauri, of course, leading the way in that championship. But Elliott doing the one-man show, the one-man job, however you like to call it. What we are going to see, maybe, either Ruti domination or scenes like EML Premier 1 last night of very good racing, very good overtaking.
Yeah, I'm thinking definitely Jerry might be an outside shot for a podium here, or maybe even a race win like he called it, but then the top 5 themselves really looking strong. So these are probably my favorites into this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and particularly you can never underestimate our champion, obviously Black Box, but Ruti Hullet put in such a good performance in quali. I don't see much getting past him. Then again, this is Abu Dhabi, and we are soon running up to those 5 red lights.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ruti, Jerry, Black Box, first, second and third, with the sun glazing down and the 5 red lights coming on. Final round of the championship in TML F1. And it is light 10, away we go, and Ruti gets a very good start. Commensus bogs down off the start and might be under challenge from Dara in towards turn 1, but Ruti leads in towards turn 1. Commensus in second, Dara there in third. Black Box there getting ahead of Elliot, so he's into fourth. Good overtake there in through turn number 1. Name on Hawk side by side as well. They just fleeing off the camber of the corner slightly. Sun really setting here. Beautiful start by everyone early on. Now in towards the tricky section of turn number 5. The left-hander is actually Hawk dives it down the inside line. Scott Bugner diving down the inside line as well. Jerry keeps it clean right at the back of the field. Mistake there by Scott Bugner. Mistake there by Hawk, who gets swept on by Namor. So Namor through and he's into 8, but he's running side by side with them down the straight. Felix 1 and Scott Bugner. No quarters given at the back of the field here. Commences on the back of Ruti in towards turn number 6 as well. Dara's gone straight on. Nearly, there's a bit of a tap there, I think, from Scott on the inside line of Hawk. Mercedes nearly made contact there as well in the background. Dara's already picked up a 3-second penalty. As I say, he went straight on, but Ruti leads the way. Commences in second, Dara there in third, Black Box in fourth. Apart from that slight bit of contact with Hawk, as the Mercedes are 2 side by side into turn number 9, Jerry gets the job done on Scott through and he's into 10. Everyone in the top 11 on a set of hards. Hawk there on a set of mediums as Namor is round coming through turn number 9.
It looked like a really clean start overall. There's barely any position changes at all, in fact, down this main, onto this first DRS train, which will become DRS, obviously, eventually. But, yeah, pretty clean start from the drivers in question here, and in the end, really, Ruti Hullet keeping his lead there. It's yellow flag there, sector 3. Ooh.
Oh, and he's crashing in the pit wall! Dara crashes into the pit wall. Harry Banks and Elliot. I think it might have been Elliot who actually dived Dara, if I'm not mistaken. Elliot's lost the position to Harry Banks. He was right behind Black Box until then. Dara Smith retires out of the race, retires in the pit lane. That's disappointing from him. He had a very, very good race in SRC on Tuesday. Not, unfortunately, carrying the form here tonight. But I think Elliot might have just sent it down the inside line, and then Dara got caught up. He tried to defend the outside line, cut across, contact was made, then went in the pit wall, and then all hell, I think, broke loose there with Dara, including his front wing, quite literally, as Ruti leads the way. Commensus in second, and who would have thought it? The second driver in AlphaTauri pressurising the race leader rather than the champion.
Yes, brilliant stuff indeed here from Mentalist, who's keeping really close to the back of that sister car, of course, in the Red Bull car. But yeah, as I said maybe earlier, with Elliot having maybe a little say in that incident with Dara Smith, obviously we can't make these assumptions just yet. But yeah, the gaps are looking really pulled apart, so of course they had to be involved somewhat as this battle they're brewing on for P7. Felix 1 gets the job done there. Wow. Great racing down here.
Jerry had the job done coming through turn number 9. Felix 1 got the overcut on the outside, got the traction, and then re-overtook him for the position. Elliot on the back of Harry Banks now in toward the right-hander of turn number 16. As I say, I didn't see what happened there with Elliot. I can only assume, because he's lost the position, that is what happened between him and Dara, potentially. If that is the case, I'm sure Dara will inform us there in the chat in Discord. And yeah, he is not saying anything just yet. But Ruti leads the way, Commensus in second, Black Box in third. Now we've got the DRS enabled. Now we'll begin to see the overtakes, maybe with Commensus already on the back of Ruti. Ruti tries to pull away. Both have got the same EOS, 60% of EOS coming out of turn number 9. As Elliot right on the back of Harry Banks, looks like it's going to be a very easy job. He has got the straight line speed. Is the Ferrari going to go for the move? No. Is Commensus going to go for the move for the Red Bull? No. Is Jerry going to go for the move on Felix 1? Yes. And Elliot does go for the move in the end on Harry Banks, gets the job done through and he's into fourth, and Jerry just pushes Felix 1 up on the curb. Felix 1 tries to fight back, saves as good as you're given there, and Jerry hangs on for 7th, Felix 1 and 8th, Hawk there in 9th, and Felix coming back now at Jerry.
Oh, indeed, this is going to be a big waiting game, really, for everybody, because there is these two DRS zones, obviously right back to back, and oh my word, is that Elliot around there? He's out of the race. Crashed out exiting turn 8, and that might cause a little upset, and obviously does kill the chances for Ferrari.
Yeah, it's off track, coming through turn number 9, he's caught on the outside curb, I think, there. Unfortunate, I think Harry had to take real avoiding action in that as well, because Elliot obviously had just got that job done on Elliot. Yeah, so Harry Banks through 4th, Elliot out of the race, no safety car out on track. If that was virtual, but if that was real life, we would have definitely seen a safety car there. Because of the coding on this game, that was classed as off track, therefore there was no safety car. Answers on the postcard, please, with that one. Richie leads the way, comments us in second, Black Box there in third, Hawk on the back of Felix 1. Interestingly, as we have got 6 positions gained already for Jerry, nearly looking for 7 there on the back of Dalfi, running down in towards turn number 5, now down in towards the chicane of 6 and 7, and maybe a 3-wide scenario here. Certainly going to be a 2-wide one between Dalfi and Harry Banks down in towards turn number 6 and 7. Dalfi pulls the inside line, outside there, that line there for Harry Banks, tries to get the job done, and Jerry goes for the up and under, going through Harry, round the outside of turn number 7. That is audacious, but that's brilliant. Jerry through and he's into 5th. Harry there down in 6th. Great stuff from Jerry. He'll defend off Harry. He's coming back at him. And Harry, of course, needs it for 4th in the championship. Harry Banks around the outside of Jerry, trying to get the job done. Jerry's still down on the inside line and just about hangs on for 5th.
Brilliant racing down here again. It's obviously always a great scene, the second DRS straight. I mean, the brilliant bit of opportunism there from Jerry to dive it down the inside of the Aston Martin and gets the job done. And look, the gap between Dalfi and Black Box obviously 3 seconds. Jerry might well be looking to make it already.
Jerry has a huge moment coming through coming out into the entrance of turn 15, not the exit of turn 15. He almost lost it. It's basically on the slow throttle basically going on the car. Jerry had to corrected the steering in towards turn 15. How on earth he's recovered that, I do not know. That's a great recovery from Jerry. He's still on the back of Dalfi. This guy, honestly, is alien-like, I think, here in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, indeed. I mean, has he maybe got onto that entry curve a little bit? I haven't quite caught it. Scott Buckner there in the back, his teammate.
I think what happened is he got caught on the outside curb. The camera angle I was right on board with, so I didn't really see it. Scott Buckner's been overtaken by Neymar in the background after a mistake by Scott, and Hawk's down the inside line of Felix Swan. We'll come back to that point, though, about Jerry, as Hawk now and Felix Swan still try and fight around the outside through 6, through 7, now in towards 8 and 9. Jerry's now going to make the move done on Dalfi, and if I was Dalfi, I would have let him go a little bit sooner. Jerry through and he's into 4th. Dalfi there in 5th. Hawk not fighting back there on Felix Swan. But yeah, Jerry there in 4th. How on earth he recovered that, I do not know. He is in that Mercedes. He had to put that Mercedes, like Ivan has said quite rightly, to the edge of its limits. Now he's pushed it to the edge of his limits. He'll know not to do that again. Coming through this part of the track, through 14, he got caught on this outside curb. There must have been a bump that unsettled him again. It's the bump that unsettled him. That's what was going on. The bump on the outside of turn 14 unsettled him, and there's a bump there from Dalfi, who makes a huge mistake in the background, and Harvey says, thank you very much, I'm through into 5th.
Brilliant stuff here, and yeah, that's Scott Buckner struggling in the back there again, yeah. This is a very unlucky scene of events there for him, but yeah, it's a great driving there from Jerry to keep that car on the road, because I know for myself how awful that exit, or actually that entry curve is, but it can also turn into the exit curve being a massive threat here as Dalfi still on the back obviously of Harry Banks, and now down this first DRS straight might be trying to overtake here and maybe look to get into DRS with Jerry again. Pull himself along.
Yeah, Dalfi's doing his into 5th. I think he's just going to be outside of DRS range perhaps. Elliott leaves the session, I think, in absolute more disgust than everything else, because obviously he was doing things right out on track. One mistake can change the complexion of the race. We saw it last night in EML Premier 1 on the final lap, and we saw it here tonight, certainly only the 5 laps into the race as well. Elliott, I know if he signs up next season, will come back a lot stronger tonight. Rucci, though, leads the way. Comments us in 2nd. Black Box there in 3rd. Jerry is losing time, but he's actually gaining time ahead of Dalfi. It's now a 2nd the gap over Dalfi. He is in a bit of no man's land. If there were more corners on this track than straight, Jerry would have a chance of catching these front 3. But we'll run and ball with them again. Outside curb, outside bump at turn 14. That time, he backed off the throttle, and that time he got through it okay, as he actually pulls out wide now coming through 16. There is another spinner, and that's Scott Buckner ran at the same point as I think it was J. Cole last night that had a mistake coming through there. That's through turn 11-12.
Yeah, it's whoa, as he loses the car again, might have to just get it a little bit under control of it. There's a terrible bump there under braking, which unsettles the car extremely easily. And yeah, he must have fallen foul of that. It's perfectly under braking as well, so it's just as awkward as it can get. Scott Buckner is still fighting the car around here. And yeah, it still poses some rather unusual challenges as Abu Dhabi track does, I would say.
Yeah, definitely so. Indeed, Scott Bugner there. I think a little bit of side drifting there. It's not Gran Turismo 7, it's not a Assetto Corsa, but Scott Bugner trying to make drifting in a Formula 1 car, I think, happen. Ruti leads the way from Commentus there in second, Black Box there in third. The AlphaTauris are looking very, very good. In fact, I can say it now, even if they DNF, even if both AlphaTauris DNF, they are crowned Constructors Champions for this season. Even with Elliott out of the race, and even if Commensus and Black Box DNF, the points, of course, will be the same. Elliott had to try and make up the ground. As soon as he crashed out the race and DNF'd, that was the crowning moment for AlphaTauri, so congratulations to them. Second and third, a little bit harsh, because we could have seen it out on track over 29 laps. Instead, we've only seen it over 4 or 5 laps. But Commensus and Black Box looking quite quick, as is Ruti, though. Set to fastest lap of the race, and now gapping Commensus for a second.
He's really going for it now, isn't he? And I've seen also Black Box is also low on ERS, so he can't really keep up that well. Maybe he hasn't gone into this race with too much practice for himself, maybe. That's obviously speculation, but Ruti Hullet really trying to put Commentalis a little bit under pressure here to obviously stay with him. And I believe Commentalis would have just managed to do so, but it's really, really close between these top three. Actually doesn't. No DRS for Commentalis, on my screen at least.
Yeah, I was shocked because it was within 9.5 tenths into the DRS detection zone.
Yeah.
That DRS detection zone is in toward the left-hand return number 5. He must have dipped out to a second. I can only think, as he makes a mistake, he certainly dipped out of a second there. With that mistake coming through 6 and 7, and now gives Black Box an opportunity to try and close in. Black Box, there is no team orders with the AlphaTauri. I was speaking to Black Box a little bit earlier on. No team orders in AlphaTauri. They've wrapped up the championship, and now it is going to be Rosberg, Hamilton, 2016 around here. Hopefully, with either of them coming out on top towards the end. But Ruti is their thorn in the side. It is sister car, leading sister car, leading sister cars. Felix Swan has spun coming through turn 9.
Oh, no, that is something that will definitely anger him. He's, for obviously, I can tell from his point of view, he's really trying to get this right again. Is this another spinner, I believe? Yes, it is. Oh, it's Black Box. Out of P3, has spun around. Maybe has made the same mistake that Jerry has made. As obviously that is a big blow to AlphaTauri. It won't mean much to him anymore, as obviously we have talked about. They have wrapped up the championship now with the retirement for Elliott, but of course it will still bug him a lot. As Felix won.
And that's in the final corner.
Oh,
and that's a safety car. Safety car. And Jerry has spun as well, I think. Jerry has had a moment coming through turn 2. And now an illegal overtake. Black Box has to let him through. What is going on?
Front wings looking? I've got end plates again.
Yeah.
But no main plane.
He's got no front wing. So Jerry's obviously binned it somewhere. I can only assume around turn 1, turn 2, that sort of area. And now we've got a safety car out on track for I don't know what. Ruti leads the way. Commentus there in second. Delphi there in third. Safety car deployed out on track. I think it's just as well because Black Box obviously made that mistake. He was out of rhythm there. Jerry made that mistake as well. He's lost his front wing. It looks like on our end anyways. If it's not, it's just a graphical glitch, obviously, with Codemasters having in the source deliveries. I know since the patch that they brought in, it has been like that around this track. I have commentated around here before, and I have seen that glitch before. But Scott Bugnes came in the pit lane, set a medium compound size on the car, and that means everyone is gonna have to try and make a 2-stop, I think, work here.
Yeah, either that or they're obviously gonna keep out as Ruti Hullet into the pits. Yeah, it does look like a 2-stop. Obviously, everybody does now have 2 mediums available, so it's possible. And yeah, it looks like everybody will follow that example. Delphi is in, Harry Banks is in, Hawk will come in as well. Might get slightly hampered maybe by a double stack, but
Black Box staying out.
I don't think it will cost him much. Ooh, really close to the back of the Aston Martin there. As Black Box stays out actually.
Yeah.
So, see, he feels like he's got not that much to lose maybe after that spin, and we'll keep out, try and make the 1-stop work instead, like we have seen yesterday. And yeah, this is certainly going to be interesting with everybody now in new mediums apart from Black Box.
Yeah, everyone on new mediums apart from Black Box. I think Black Box may be listening to the stream, maybe got us in the background. I know he does stream on Twitch, and I have heard myself in the background before on a TML live stream. So if that is the case, Black Box is probably listening. He has probably heard me say the mediums are not going to get to the end of the race, may as well be entitled to stay out. And do you know what? He would have lost time as well with Commensus in the pit lane. He would have lost time double stacking as well. So he's now put it into the lead of the race. Now it is going to be Perez, Verstappen, Hamilton 2021?
It might well be in the end, because obviously, despite the fact it is the final race, obviously, it's still going to be on their cards to make a good team result, even with no team orders, as you said, which is obviously great for us as commentators or as for the viewers as well. But yeah, this is certainly going to be interesting. He's the only driver that is not on a set of mediums, the only driver who's been on his tires since the very start of the race. I thought maybe initially that someone who's rather towards the back, so someone like Scott Bugner, would be going for this kind of two-stopping strategy. But in the end, actually everyone did, and Black Box really is the exception. So really interesting, completely against what I was thinking. And this will be definitely interesting to see the delta between these two stops, because obviously the mediums will have to make an extra stop, while Black Box, well, everyone has one stop to go, of course. But Black Box will, of course, be slower at the very start of this, which is certainly going to be a factor in this remaining... How long is it? 19 laps to go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So, yeah, certainly a situation that Black Box will try to capitalize from. Just one stop for him compared to the two stops of others. Very, very interesting prospect on the strategy side.
Yeah, very interesting prospect indeed. I'm not sure if he's in a party maybe with Carl Mentis, and they're obviously conversing about maybe putting Ruti under a little bit of pressure with Carl Mentis in behind. That might just seem a little bit more plausible, I think, because now Black Box is ahead. He can really disrupt Ruti there in second, and then Carl Mentis can obviously get ahead and maybe go for the race lead and maybe go for the race win if he does get past Ruti at this early stage of the safety car restart, which will happen for sure in this lap, because Black Box hasn't come in the pit lane. Thought he might have done, because there was an 11-second gap that I saw between himself and Jerry, I think it was, down in 7th, so Black Box could have fit ideally into that gap, but leading the way still on that sort of hard compound tyres. Clearly going to be fresher than everyone else to the end. Name on Scott Bugner having a little bit of an argy-bargy, I think, down the straight. Having a bit of a gentleman's agreement. And Namor saying, do you know what, yeah, I'm into 8th. Scott Bugner there down in 9th. Scott Bugner, I think, was just getting a little bit too impatient, potentially, on the back there of the Dane. But yeah, safety car is going to be coming in this lap, probably just before turn number 9, like we saw in real life on the final lap of that very, very controversial Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last season. And Black Box will be the virtual Bermolander, because the safety car is now coming in. He's now the virtual safety car. He can now take this race as he wants, and this restart as he wants. The safety car is quite slow. I did say this last night in EML Premier 1. The safety car is quite slow. So therefore, you'd imagine Black Box will go probably turn 15.
Maybe he could go earlier as well to catch out his opposition, and in the end maybe enable Commentalist to pressurize Ruti Hullet a little bit better. In the end, it's team support, so we'll have a look when Black Box decides to stamp on that throttle pedal again.
Yeah, definitely. I thought you were going to say more there, to be honest. Black Box leads the way. Ruti there in second, and now Black Box about to say go. Safety car coming into the pit lane. Black Box
very late.
Might say go here, I'm thinking, into the final corner. Prepares it up on the exit of the final corner. Now prepares it. That's a beautiful restart on Black Box and leads the way. But Comentus caught flat-footed by Ruti there in second. Ruti already on the back of Black Box in towards turn 1. Scott Bugner already on the back of Namor in the background as well. He was looking to the inside line. And already Ruti ahead of Black Box, who nearly slides his way coming out of turn number 3. And Black Box now makes a mistake. And Ruti there in the lead of the race. But I think this might be detrimental because Comentus now is in 3rd position. He is going to have the DRS. He's going to have the ERS as well. The DRS, of course, is not online until lap 14, but he's now going to try and counteract. Black Box, ideally, has got to get out the way at this point. If not, there is no team rules at AlphaTauri tonight. And I think Black Box is staying on the outside line. Commentus on the inside line. No team orders whatsoever. He wants to fight. Commentus, though, says, thank you very much. I'll get past with the not shortest of bother. Commentus turns into second. And now opens up a whole kind of ones called Delphi around the outside as well.
Yes, indeed. He's really capitalizing from these two AlphaTauris fighting.
Jerry! Down the inside line. He almost got caught on the blue, the AstroTurf on the inside line, the blue, the painted lines, basically. Got the job done. Down that inside. Hawk had to give him room. And Jerry Thuney's into 6th with probably one of the most audacious moves I think I've ever seen around here at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it's probably aided by this completely interesting scenario that actually appears on that blue strip, which is extremely bumpy for whatever reason, as Ruti Hullet already pulled a second over Car Mentalist. Obviously that fight with Black Box would have aided him, as Harry there to the inside
Beautiful.
of Black Box. Black Box really dropping off here on those hard tires. Was that the right decision?
Looking like it, not really. Not really at all, because now Jerry's on the back of him. TF versus TF. Elliot can't complain. And actually, Black Box getting out of the way of Jerry. That's interesting. Didn't get out of the way for his teammate, but got out of the way for his teammate, if you know what I mean. They're both in the same esports team. Jerry there in 5th, Black Box in 6th, Hawk there in 7th, Scott Bugler there in 8th. That might just confirm Elliot's theory that he's had all season about the TF boys working together. Scott Bugler, though, not working together. Oh, and he collects Black Box. Black Box's round. Luckily, the championship is already sewn up for him, and he's down there in 9th. Scott Bugler 3rd, and he's into 6th, and that was just too late on the brakes from Scott. Collected them. Nothing he could have done about it at all. Nothing that Black Box could have done about it. Wrong place, wrong time. That might go down as a racing incident if it's reported. However, final race of the season, not many reports happen as Hawk tries to go down the inside of Scott, and now Neymar trying to go around the outside of Hawk through turn 11 in toward the right-hand turn number 12. Doesn't go for the move.
I really can't go for that move there in the end. To the outside in this corner is going to just make the bump even worse. Scott Buckner is around, I believe. Yes, he is. Into turn 14. That obviously puts an end to that. And yeah, it's just a lot of mistakes being made from the drivers. But Abu Dhabi is notoriously easy. Some liberties taken there. Track limits hits the pit entry wall. Does Scott Buckner. And let's see what he does about that. He does retire from the race. That is his decision in the end. But yeah, only 8 drivers now left in this race. And Black Box propping up the field. I didn't think I would say that.
Yeah, Black Box down in 8th position. Considering he started this safety car restart in 1st, he's now down in 8th position, out the back of the field. Obviously, no fault of his own, really, with that spin, with that collection from Scott Bugler. His AI is coming out of the pit lane. Here's Harry down the inside of Dalfi in towards turn number 6. Tries to get the job done down the inside line. Might open up the door. That was a bit harsh there from Harry Banks. And Jerry is going to sweep through the middle of them, parch into the Red Sea. There goes Dalfi to the inside line. Bye-bye, Hugo. And now Harry Banks. Bye-bye, Hugo as well. Around the outside, potentially for Jerry. On the outside of Harry Banks in towards turn number 9. He will have the traction on the exit. He might switch it back to the inside. Scott Bugler's AI is still retiring out on track. And Harry Banks just about holds on in what was a really good fight, that.
Brilliant stuff here for P3, obviously. It is now the final podium place. Harry Banks now going a bit deep. And this does actually look a little bit like 2021, but it does look like Harry Banks can hold on to the position for the moment. Last 2 corners usually not an overtaking spot, but you never know what Jerry can maybe stir up in this little pot that he might have in the Mercedes. And, it's the Dalfi really wide there behind the 2. But the fight roars on, probably onto the next DRS straight as well. It's the top 2. They'll be giving each other a great fight, probably for this race lead with the laps to come.
Yeah, given that we've broken the rules to let him race as well, Jerry there in 4th, he is repaying me quite a lot. He's there in 4th, on the back of Harry Banks. Harry Banks there, former TML champion. Jerry, potential TML champion coming up. He has shown very good attribution since he joined at the end of this season, or towards the end of this season. And now he's going to show attribution to try and go for the move in towards turn number 6. So this is going to be very easy indeed from the Mercedes to the inside on the Aston Martin. Harry will not fight that. Jerry defends the inside line like he's defending thin air. Jerry 3rd, he's into 3rd. Harry Banks in 4th. Dalfi there in 5th. But Harry Banks, though, now with DRS, is going to come back at him with the aid of ERS as well. Is he going to be close enough for the move in towards turn number 9? Might risk it going around the outside here. And Harry Banks, you know what, might be alongside, going through the corner. On the outside line, traction will come out. Oh, and Jerry has a huge snap on the bump, I think, on the inside of turn number 9. Harry Banks just about avoids him, but Jerry is round. And do you know what I said about 30 seconds ago? He's no longer repaying me because I think he's got left side unplate damage.
It might well be. I think it was actually a little bit of a cooperation there between the 2 drivers, because I had seen Harry as well had lost the rear end a little bit in that corner. There was contact for sure, but whether that really contributed to that spin in the end from Jerry, I can't know. Maybe he does continue on, so possibly no damage to the Mercedes after all, but quite unlikely, to be honest, after the spin that he has had. And yeah, back down to 7th now. We'll have to hope for some very good pace either, or maybe another safety car to bring the field back together.
Yeah, he has got pace though. I mean, Neymar and Hawk and Dalfi are pretty easy targets ahead of him. Not disowning them whatsoever. It's just the case Jerry is a little bit quicker than those guys. Commenceless is a little bit quicker than Ruti at this stage as well. He's done very well at this point to actually hang on to the back of Ruti for so long. Thought about going to the inside there of turn number 6. Not a Commenceless-esque move, I would have said, if he was going to try and pull that off. But he is on the back of Ruti, 24% of EOS, 24% of EOS by Ruti. I think Commenceless has just got a little bit more than Ruti coming in towards turn number 9, but the AlphaTauri is there. He's already had a race win this season, Commenceless. Ruti as well in the Red Bull, I think, has been borderline on the race win. Neymar, his teammate, is right on the back of Hawk coming through turn number 9 as well. Doesn't get the job done there. Hawk remains in position for 5th, but Ruti there, leading the way. Commenceless there in 2nd, and if I was in Commenceless' shoes, I'd certainly back off at this stage, just to let Ruti get a little bit of breathing room. Don't let him go too far. Save that EOS, save it for the final quarters of this race, because mediums, we are unsure certainly, as Dalfi just takes track limits to a new extension, coming through the final quarter there in the background of shot. Yeah, but Ruti leads away, Commenceless in 2nd. Yeah, and if I was in Commenceless' shoes, I wouldn't let Ruti get too far away. I'd save up an extra bit of EOS, and then attack him, because those mediums are not probably going to get to the end of the race.
Yeah, I doubt it as well. One thing that you could do as well is obviously to pull it on strategy, but I know for a fact that the mediums, or in general the tires around this place, take a lot of time to heat up. So whether these two want to pit on the same lap or there's 1 lap difference is probably going to be a very, very crucial thing to look out for. And lap 17 might well be approaching that pit stop phase fairly soon, if the race continues on normally. Tires.
Neymar onto the back of Hawk, just battling on with this, coming through 6 and 7. Neymar got very close to the back, Commenceless so close to the back to Ruti, not getting the move done there. And Neymar now coming back at Hawk, now trying for the move, around the outside, in towards turn number 9. Are we going to see a Harry Banks and Jerry sort of collision coming through here? No, Neymar takes a much wider line than what Harry was doing, but to good effect, because he's now on the inside line for turn number 12, which is this right-hander coming up. And Hawk on the outside line, hangs it around the outside, to be fair. Great racing between them both. The German stays ahead of the Dane.
Very good racing there. Might have been slightly off track, obviously, for Hawk, but it was pretty inevitable. It's not usually a place where you go side by side, as Neymar is still trying to put a lot of pressure on Hawk in the halves ahead. And it's certainly going to play a little bit into Jerry's hands to try to salvage something at least from this race, which, well, he does contest in the end. He has a bit unlucky there with that incident in the middle with Harry Banks, but still looking to recover from this and get up to maybe P5. If something ahead happens, maybe there's more safety cars maybe to come, you never know. There's a lot of action probably still yet to happen in this race, and the fight for the race lead is certainly not an exception to that.
Yeah, definitely so. Neymar still not close enough to the back of Hawk, in towards 6 and 7. Down the straight, he's around 5 tenths off. And actually, Hawk begins to pull away from him there. Ruti still leading away from Commenceless there in 2nd. Commenceless just backing off, as I was saying, as a yellow flag. I think that's Dalfi that is round. It is indeed Dalfi, who I thought made a mistake. Actually, just couldn't off board with him there. Dalfi, I thought, made a mistake into the chicane. And he must have done, because obviously he's spun and he's now behind the likes of Jerry and Neymar and Hawk, who were behind him to begin off with anyways. But Ruti leads the way, Commenceless in 2nd, Harry there in 3rd. Every single close battle that we have is now going to pop, because Delphi has just spun there as well. But Ruti, Commenceless still 1st and 2nd. This might be, unfortunately, the only battle that we might see towards the end of this race. Commenceless now has got around 3% more EOS than Ruti at this stage. If they're not careful though, Harry Banks could try and go for the win as Neymar and Dalfi in pits.
I feel like that penalty for Neymar might not be justified because of those track limits on the pit entry. They are absolutely broken from what I know. Might just be a case of just touching that curb on the inside, which gave him a 3-second penalty. He might well have a say in that. Obviously still trying to get as good a result as he can. Dalfi does have wing damage, so that would be the reason why he is into the pit lane. Black Box will still be behind him, won't he?
And he's actually ahead of him, coming out the pits!
Get ahead! Now, this is a very interesting scenario that we've seen just here, but I mean, this F1 game things really. As a Black Box ahead of Dalfi now, 1 less car to get through for him, and now he has to warm up these tyres a lot.
triggered probably by ours. Dalfi has gone so far. Why, goodness me. He is off, I think, to Qatar for the World Cup there, coming through turn number 3. So far out wide, making a break for the border, certainly on the outside of the border of the track at least. Dalfi there in 8th position, Black Box there in 7th. Black Box, as you say, ahead there of Dalfi. Ruti and comments are still leading the way. 2.7 seconds now to Harry Banks. It's still very, very consistent around that point in this race. Going on to lap 20 now with only 9 laps to go, of course, after this one is complete. Ruti comments with Harry Banks top 3, but Harry Banks is still staying in there. 2.7 seconds off the pace, 18% of ERS at this stage. Hawk there in 4th, Jerry in 5th, Neymar in 6th, Black Box in 7th, and Dalfi right on the back of Black Box, actually going to try and think about getting the job done. Dalfi has been rather inconsistent this season. On his first season, actually, in TML F1, he has done a good job regardless. But Dalfi there on the back of Black Box, now fighting for proverbial wooden spoon, which is actually worth 12 points tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, really, with the attendance that we've got tonight, but this is a fight for a proper good points position here. P7, of course, is still being contested between those two drivers. But, yeah, look at how far they are down in the end, after all. It's just, it really depends now on the strategy, and Harry Banks is currently obviously 3 seconds down in that P3. Will he be able to make a difference at the front fight? I'm not too sure about that one, because that gap is pretty big to make an undercut work. First and second, the tyre warm-up is really, really slow around here, so yeah, pit stop timing is going to be really crucial. Just seeing that only half a second separating the top 2, and Ruti Hullet, maybe we are seeing that similar kind of pressure that we have seen yesterday for the race lead. Won't elaborate further on that, but yeah, this is certainly a very, very big pressure situation. Comment list is in, so there will be a 1 lap difference between the tyres. And I mean, maybe if Ruti Hullet stays out long enough with the soft spin option, I'm not too sure. They are very, very quick to wear out here. But I mean, you can always try. It's the final race of the season. Might as well have a little bit of a try on the strategy.
I'm just going to throw a big curveball at this stage. What about if Ruti stays out and comments as it just came out in the pit lane for fresher mediums? If that is the case, and those guys are not going to get to the end, which we don't think they are, but Ruti is a master of his craft. He does make the tyres go quite long into the race. Commentus is coming out the pit lane. The gap between Ruti and Commentus coming out the pits is 21.1 seconds coming out of the pit lane. Add another second and a half onto that by the end of this lap, and you might see potentially around a gap of 22-23 seconds, maybe out on track between Commentus and Ruti. And Ruti, of course, he's not using up any ERS, which makes me think he is staying out for the long haul and making them go to the end of the race. But if you were him, would you come in, put on a fresh set of mediums to the end of the race?
I feel like I would probably try to cover off the undercut really from Commentless, because these tyres, if I just look at them from the onboard shot, they already don't look in their best. Obviously they won't with 11 laps on them, but yeah, this is a very risky game that he's playing. He does stay out, so it does look like he maybe is trying to go to the end here. So let's see if the top 3, the remainder of this field obviously still out, the top 4 after all, will also come into the pit lane, or if they will stay out.
Harry Banks staying out, Hawk, Jerry all stay out. Comments, this has gained 1.1 seconds on the back of Jerry, on the back of Hawk at this stage as well. The gap now 20.3 seconds, so Commentus is carving time into Ruti and Harry Banks, but the big moment is Jerry borderline on the DRS of Hawk. I think he's going to get within it quite easily, actually, into the DRS detection zone, which is there, into the corner. Jerry within DRS range and Hawk. Commentus is in a bit of no man's land. The gap is 19.8, so 0.5 of a second taken out in the first sector. And if Commentus can close in around 2 seconds a lap, might be on the back of these guys before the end of the race. It's really going to be quite close if they do tend to stay out.
Yeah, this is neat. There's going to have to be qualifying laps really from Commentless all the way till the end of this Grand Prix, but the tyres will of course be in noticeably better shape. And the top
and here comes
4,
Jerry
Jerry
on the back of Hawk.
He's already coming.
Oh, Jerry ran the outside of Hawk, tries to get the job done. Coming through turn number 9, switching back out of turn number 9, and do you know what? If he pulls this off, this might be overtaking the season. Now going around the outside of Hawk through turn 11, through turn 12. He's a little bit off track, still fighting side by side, now through 13, and Jerry does indeed pull that off.
Beautiful.
That is masterful from Jerry. He as soon as he's into third. The third challenge now complete. Harry and Rooty stay out, obviously. Jerry there in third, and Hawk is into the pit lane thinking, you know what, yeah, if you get a move like that done, I'm into the pit lane. I'm going to consolidate potentially 5th position. But Jerry Thuney's into third. Even though he was slightly off track with an off-camber corner, that was masterful from him.
That was a beautiful move as well, and he put that car under a lot of risk as well. I believe Hawk actually in the soft tyres, if I've seen that correctly. Yes, he is. So, yeah, he's definitely put that car under a lot of risk. And with that bump on the braking was always going to be extremely awkward to make that work around the outside. But brilliant stuff from the Mercedes driver. There we go. And got the colours wrong somehow. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, certainly a driver to look out for in this. But Car Mentalist already closing into 3 seconds. And now no DRS ahead. So nobody will have any DRS assistance in the top 3, and this is now going to be really interesting. How quickly can Commentless close into these 3? This is going to be so close for sure.
Rooty coming to the right hand with 13. The gap is 16.7 seconds. So he has carved 5 seconds since that pit stop into Rooty, who is still going out on track through 15. And still stays out. So Rooty is committing, I am assuming, right to the end of this race. Harry Banks the same. He is committing right to the end of this race. Jerry there in third. He is going to feel quite hard done by a thing. If I was him, I'd actually pit in for set a soft compound tyre and then try and consolidate 4th, maybe 5th position towards the end of this race, because Car Mentalist is going to be on the back of him within 2 laps. Maybe even this next lap round, another fastest lap as well from Car Mentalist. Carving his way into contention. 15.9 seconds. Might seem like a lot still. I think it's still too much for him to win this race. But with 6 laps to go, with him now crawling onto the DRS range of Jerry, which will probably be this lap, maybe this lap around in towards turn number 9. And if that is the case, and he does go within DRS range, Car Mentalist now is absolutely charging.
I honestly feel like Car Mentalist might still have a shot at the race win, in all honesty. These tyres from the entire top 3 are looking completely shot, particularly the ones from Jerry. They look, I think, by far the worst out of the 3 that we obviously have up there. And yeah, this is only going to get worse once they do hit the cliff. And medium tyres, they do hit a bigger cliff as well than obviously hard tyres would. And nobody on the hards, of course, now. But from experience, I have seen it as well often enough. And Car Mentalist may be looking at a move here into the final sector already. I mean, this is going to be the sections where this mechanical grip's going to come in really handy. And he's going to be closing in all the way until the first, well, really the last corner there. He'll be able to take it flat, while Jerry might have to take a bit of throttle out on this section where he's already lost the back end twice in a row. And yeah, look at this. Jerry already right on the back here.
I was going to say, is he going to go for the move in towards turn 1, but he's not. He's going to wait in behind. I think that's a little bit of a mistake, to be honest. The gap now, 14.3. Closing in rapidly, but he's now been held up behind Jerry. Jerry becoming a thorn in Car Mentalist's side that he didn't really want. You can see the blistering on those tyres in the Mercedes. Is he just going to let them through? Yes, he does. Fair play to Jerry. Let's Car Mentalist go. He's into third, but also that might be tactical because he's got DRS. Yeah. Exactly. He has got DRS now in 4th position. Obviously, his tyres are not going to be into play, and he's not going to get the job done from that far back. However, I think he might to the inside line, in towards turn number 9, then towards turn number 6, and he does get the job done. How on earth has that happened? Jerry Thuney's into third, Car Mentalist in 4th. This is really bad news for Car Mentalist. He now switches back, now got the DRS range, now should pull away from Jerry, who has still got very good straight line speed. Car Mentalist, though, that's his move. He's into third. Jerry there in 4th has got very bad blistering on the front left tyre, and now Car Mentalist now in clear air, now 14 seconds behind the leader Rooty. 14 seconds in 4 laps. He's got to close down at basically 3.5 seconds a lap.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive, massive mountain to climb. I mean, if Mount Everest is the highest mountain on this on this planet, then it's probably even bigger than that. It's I don't know how he's supposed to try and catch that. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the cliff on those mediums should be pretty soon. And from what those tires look like for both the top two and for Jerry as well, I can't imagine it taking much longer, but 4 laps might just be enough for the Red Bull to hold on. Even without maybe the threat of punctured territory, we might be hitting quite soon actually, as looking at those tires. However, the sheen on commentless tires is also going away, so they're not going to be in their best shape anymore. Still noticeably better than the top 3 or top 2 and Jerry though.
I honestly think it's too much time to gain. I think commentless has pulled maybe one of the if these guys get punctures and it comes back to bite me, then he has pulled off one of the worst strategy calls I think I've seen all season from him. He had to do something. He had to obviously try and go for the undercut. He is banking on these guys getting punctures ahead of him. Rooty at the minute looking good. I've noticed he's taken a lot more coasting coming through this final sector, and that is obviously going to just exacerbate the tyre wear a little bit. So we're actually going to take some of the tyre wear away. Rooty, though, if he comes in the pit lane now, he's going to be 7-8 seconds behind. It's all gone if he comes in the pits. Harry Banks staying out as well. They're committed to the end. 3 laps to go. Rooty leads the way. Harry Banks in second. Commentless in third. And Commentless has got roughly 12 seconds to catch in 3 laps' time. If they don't pick up a puncture, it's impossible.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. And I've just been on board here with Rudy Hollett. He's taking some really high gears here to, I believe, make sure of the traction. The 5th gear exiting the hairpin, and he's done that already in almost the entire final sector. If I turn on the telemetry quickly, this is not fuel related, so no short shifting involved.
Tires.
Just to make sure, yeah, the tires stay in shape, in somewhat decent enough shape to get him to the end of this Grand Prix. And I feel like that is probably the only thing that might hinder him from taking a race victory here in Abu Dhabi. So, great job from him if he can conserve the tyres, but this is very much an unknown factor here still.
This is a very unknown factor indeed. Harry Banks there in second has done an awesome job as well, with Commensus there in third. Gap now 11.3, not closing in enough at this stage. He is honestly banking on these tyres to go. 1 pop for each of the front 2. It might happen on the final 2 laps, and if Rooty rides curbs like that, it might just happen more sooner rather than later. Rooty round the final couple of corners, once again, through turn 16 for the 3rd last time, going on to the penultimate lap now of the race. Rooty leads from Harry Banks in second, Commentus there in third. Gap is still 10.5 seconds. He is closing in, to be fair, Commentus, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As I say, unless he picks up punctures, unless these guys pick up punctures, this is not on for Commentus there in third, and it might just be a call that is 1 step too far for him in the pursuit of his race win. It's now under 10 seconds though, the gap, and I'm still winning him on at this stage, and Harry Banks, going noticeably slower coming through turn number 5, thought had a puncture, but he doesn't at this stage, and Commentless is just picking up the pace even more. He needs to use up that ERS even more. Baruti currently has this race 1 hand on the trophy for now.
Yeah, realistically, I would say that as well. Commentless can maybe pick off a 2nd place if he pushes on enough on this final lap and can close in. But even that is looking quite unlikely. 3.5 seconds in pretty much 1.5 laps does look pretty utopical from this side. And yeah, it's a shame really that he couldn't have really called that these guys would be going so long on 1 set of medium tires. He tried his luck and unfortunately couldn't make it work. So that is at the back there's still a battle going on there for P7 between Dalfi and Blackbox.
Yeah, good fight for the wooden spoon. 7th and 8th position. Dalfi there in 7th, Blackbox there in 8th. Rooty round the final corner for the penultimate time. He's only got 5.2 kilometres to go here in Abu Dhabi. Leading the way, Harry Banks in second. Getting closed down rapidly from Commentless. The gap now 8.1 seconds. Closing in enough to certainly get second. Maybe not to get the race win though. Rooty has driven this race awesomely well. In terms of the tyres, in terms of his threatening presence at the front end of the field, the Red Bull comes through turn 5 for the final time, and has he picked up a puncture? Oh, I thought he picked up a rear right puncture, but he doesn't. I thought I saw the tyre go pop there, but he is going noticeably slower down the straight compared to last time around as Dalfi has spun through the final corner. Yeah. Obviously not going to get a safety car at this stage, and Dalfi leads the session. Why would you do that going into the final lap of the race? Jerry, though, does have a puncture, front left. Oh, and Nemo's collected him.
Out there. Not an incident that Neymar could have avoided. That is so unlucky, and Blackbox gets his way up into P5 that way. Yeah, that just shows what can happen. Delphi spun around as well, but now we have to cast our eyes here to the front. Will anybody else follow up with what Jerry's just happened?
I think they're okay for now. Ruti coming through the final couple of corners. The front left of Jerry's when looking at the front left, that looks like it's going to go. Honestly, Ruti coming through the left hand of 13, 14, even with the final couple of corners to go, if he picks up a puncture now, I think he'll be quite fortunate because I think he's going to win this race. Round through turn 15, round through turn 16. What a masterful drive from Ruti to the line. Wins here in Abu Dhabi.
Beautiful.
Harry Banks in second, hanging onto his tyres for absolute grim life. He gets second. Great job from him. Commentus there in third. Hawk in the end is fourth as a result of that carnage that we had at the back. Blackbox, by the way, is doing donuts down at turn number 6, which is not too bad. I don't blame him, to be honest. It is the final race of the season. Hawk around the final couple of quarters for one of his best point scores of the season. Hawk to the line, finishing there in fourth. Really had no chance though compared to the front three. Neymar there in fifth. He, with no front wing, is coming around the final couple of corners in the Red Bull, through turn number 15, through turn 16, with an end plate sticking out on his right side. Neymar to the line, finishes in fifth, stops and does a little bit of an 11s coming to the line there. Blackbook still doing more donuts there in seventh. Dalfi's AI is going to finish in sixth. With him leaving on the final lap though, I'm not sure if he's going to get actually classified in the results. If he does, then that will be good. I think, to be honest, he should, because he is finishing sixth and Blackbook's there in seventh. Doesn't care. It's the final race of the season. He is doing the donuts, celebrating because he's won the championship, of course. Great win though from Ruti. Harry Banks there in second. Carmentus there in third. And in the end, my gut feeling was right. Carmentus with one of the worst strategy calls of this season.
Yep, indeed. I mean, I did not see it coming for myself. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't have gone for that strategy that the top two employed and that Jerry employed as well. But I couldn't know that. I thought the mediums would honestly be wearing so much quicker than what they eventually did. As now, I believe Blackbox will get lapped by the drivers on their cooldown laps, which is a very interesting thing to see.
He's not. He'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, he's got to the end then. Avoided that bit of humility, let's say, but yeah, as you said, brilliant performance from Ruti Hullet and from these two drivers who have managed to nurse those medium tires home, and 1 and 2 for these drivers with commentless. That really left wondering what could have been.
Yeah, definitely so indeed. Commentus, I think, is probably a little bit annoyed with himself more than anything else. He had the right call. Initially, we thought it was the right call. We thought that Ruti would come in the pit lane, and then as the race just drew on, Harry Banks didn't come in, Ruti didn't come in, and Ruti rocking his way to the top step of the podium. Probably the best podium interview, the best podium celebration I think I've seen all season from these guys. He is taking the trophy though back home to the Scuderia Rosso factory, back to the home of Finland as well. And for the first time since 2012 in Abu Dhabi, a Finnish winner in Abu Dhabi. And that, of course, is Mr. Ruti Hullet, who takes the win after a very inspired call in terms of his strategy. Harry Banks in second. He deserved that second place with his strategy call as well. And I've got to argue, probably deserved joint driver of the days, even though the app can only award one. I'm going to put them as joint driver of the days, Ruti and Harry, for first and second. Commentus there in third. In the end, if the race was 32 laps, I think Commentus probably would have got Ruti and Harry with the tyres going off right at the end of the race. Commentus there finishing in third. Drove a very good race. He'll come back fighting, and I'm sure he'll come back more wiser than ever next season. Hawk there in fourth, with Neymar in fifth. Delphi in sixth. Blackbook's the champion there in seventh, rounding off. Only 7 finishes in the end for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We had 12 to start off with. Jerry there down in 8th. Clash, of course, in the final lap of the race. Scubbugner, Felix, Elliott and Dara. 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th and Aldi. And after a very stage of the race, Dara didn't even make it through the first lap. But Ruti takes the win. Harry Banks in second and Carmentus there in third to round off season number 8 of TML F1.
Indeed, and I mean, if we just like to cast our minds back on the nationality of the winning driver, we can now consider the season as finished, if you will.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes.
I
had to bring one at some point. I apologize.
That is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely terrible. I don't really know how to take that pun, to be honest. It was very punny. There you go. But yeah, terrible. You can tell it's the end of the season. Goodness me. Luckily, though, we have reached the end of the season. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any interviews, I believe, tonight. I'm certainly looking in the Discord and looking and thinking that people have got to go, if I'm not mistaken. Comments are saying, damn, I put it too late. My tyres were never going to make it. What were yours on? Rooties was on 79% at the end. 79% at the end, and Commentalist was on 50% when he pitted on that sort of hard compound of tyre.
So that means he must have been pushing a lot in a bet to obviously try and win this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but it didn't come to anything in the end. So brilliant tyre management from the top two in the end. 79%, I expected honestly quite a bit more than that, and judging by Commentalist's experience with the tyre wear, would have seen me backed up really in that point, and it was massively backing up then for the top two, which made the strategy work in the end. Maybe that's what Jerry didn't manage to do, and obviously with that puncture on the final lap, it could have been for anyone really, if we think about it, but yeah, that's maybe what costs Jerry the shot at challenging for a podium here, though he did get overtaken already by Commentalist in the end. But yeah, certainly one note as well to Blackbox, of course, the champion of this season, doing some donuts towards the end. He might as well, so be it. Final race of the season. Very, very good job. Not today, maybe. He hasn't maybe turned up with the best motivation. He doesn't have to anyways. Still a brilliant job, a fantastic job for him all season to claim the championship trophy, and obviously a little prize to go with that.
Yeah, Blackbox indeed will be getting his rig sent to him, the NLR GT rig, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said it was NLGT or something like that last night. It's NLR GT Lite, if I'm not mistaken, the rig that he's going to be getting. Of course, he is going to get that as a prize for winning the Drivers' Championship, so that is well done. NLR, of course, are going to be sponsoring us next season. Not the NLR that I've got alongside me in the commentary box, of course. That is that's Next Level Racing. I was going to say Never Last Racing. That's going to be sponsoring us next season. You could sponsor us if you want to. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind, that's for sure. But yeah, NLR are going to be sponsoring us once again next season. Blackbox, by the way, they're in the chat saying, I've loved this season, guys. Well done. Thank you to Alex and James. A big thank you, yeah, to Blackbox for Racing, to every single driver that made not only tonight happen, but this season happen, because without the drivers, there simply wouldn't be TML. A big thank you as well, from my perspective, to every single commentator this season that has delivered. Whether or not you've been forced into it or not remains to be seen. The likes of Ivor, Bryn, Mike taking their free time and commentating, where we've been absolutely lacking in commentators over the last 3 or 4 weeks, which is a promise that I am going to obviously fix. Obviously, for next season, we've got until January to fix that. So if I don't fix it by January, I don't think I ever will fix it, to be honest, for the commentary team. But once again, a big thank you to everyone from behind the scenes. The league directors, of course, myself included in that league directorship, really try our best and really want to take the drivers' opinions, of course, at heart. And as a result of that, we are going to be running that Season 9, of course, in January. We are, however, though, going to be running, and I can announce this because, well, I think I can announce this, there is going to be evaluation races before Christmas. This is the first ever time that it has been done in a TML season. It's the first ever time that will be decided on League Racing TV. It is the natural 50%. And I am led to believe, because I'm a league director, and I can announce this because I've got the duty of myself to announce this. Pre-season race 1 is going to happen currently on Thursday, the December 1st. So 2 weeks' time, Thursday, 1st of December, will be race 1. Pre-season race 2 will then happen on Friday, the 16th of December. That is all to be confirmed, though, because obviously there is a World Cup coming on Sunday, so we might have to try and plan ahead as a result. But that is currently our plan. Sign-ups, by the way, are open as well for Season 9. If you do want to have a look at all of the sign-ups information, it is in our brand new description, where, of course, you can check out our sponsor there as well for TML and EML Next Level Racing. All of our socials are in there, Twitter, Discord, the Season 9 sign-up links is also in there as well. That takes you to a form. Then, of course, with the Discord link, you will obviously come in and obviously be fantastic. Blackbox, though, saying in the chat, got to get him in the interview room. So I think Blackbox does want an interview after all.
That's obviously great to see from our world champion of TM.
Oh, wait. Oh. Yeah, I was inviting them into the lobby instead of inviting them into the party. Easy mistake to make. You can tell I'm tired. But yeah, I'll try and get Blackbox in. Have you already added them? Oh, I've got it. There he is. Lovely jubbly. Right, I've added Blackbox in for an interview. Of course, our Season 8 champion, who is now joining us live on League Racing TV. It is Mr. TF Blackbox, our champion, of course, of Season number 8 here in TML F1. First of all, though, Blackbox, about the race. Wrong place, wrong time with the incident with Scott Bugner. Really put you on the back foot. Doing donuts in the end, but you still picked up 7th position. Talk us through it.
James, Alex, we did it! We did it! I'm the champion of the world! But yeah, nah, it's been a crazy season. This one was terrible, but I did absolutely no preparation for this. We expected, one of Ruti or Dara to win, but yeah, the race was trash, but the donuts were good. The stream was good as well. People on my stream loved your commentary, James and Alex, so thank you for that. I also want to just say a big thank you to Next Level Racing. They're an awesome company, one of the best in the world for sim racing equipment, and I'm so fortunate to be getting one of their rigs. I don't know which one yet, but I'm getting one of them, and I'm really happy to be you guys' champion. You know, so James knows my journey, my story, especially in TML. And I've made a promise to my family, to my grandparents, who've invested a lot of money into my rig and my equipment. I will make it into esports, and I will make it. So, yeah, I want to thank you guys. And that's a lot I've just said, but yeah.
It's totally fine. I think the emotion and the occasion obviously taken further then. But of course, you are TML F1 Season 8 champion. What do you, obviously you've already said what you were going to say about everything in terms of winning the championship. Looking ahead to next season, first of all, have you signed up for next season?
Not as far as I didn't even know there was any sign-ups, to be honest, but I haven't really looked. But I'm not sure if I will be signing up or not yet. We'll see. I want to see what the grid looks like before I do the sign-up. I want to be able to... In my head, I've still got visions of last season where, you know, I was so slow on the new wheel and things like that, and Tom and Jensen were breezing past me, and then all of a sudden 2 days ago I'm able to absolutely, you know, wipe the floor with Jensen and some of the other drivers that used to beat me. So I want to be in a season where I can take them on one-on-one and get that, you know, that clearance in my head that I can beat those guys in the top divisions of PSGL, because PSGL hasn't done me any justice, and all these other leagues are doing me justice. They prove that I am at the top again, and so yeah, we'll see what the grid looks like. If it's a stacked grid with really good drivers, then yeah, I may well have to come and, you know, defend my championship.
May have to come and defend your championship. I can reveal that Jensen is going to be signing up for next season. I can already see his sign up actually in the spreadsheet that we've got. So Jensen has already signed up. So if that's any indication of what Blackbox might do, I think he might be signing up.
I'm in.
Ooh,
I'm in.
Got the confirmation on stream. Love that.
I'm in.
Challenges on. That's what we like to see, though.
You guys know I'm a character. I'm not here to just race. I like to make it entertaining. I like to bring the viewership, and I'm always really thankful for the viewers. I know I was tuning in throughout the stream. The viewership is crazy, especially in League Racing TV, and yeah, this is what I race for. I don't just race for, you know, winning and things like that. I want people to see me. I want to entertain as well. I'm always an entertainer, and that's why I stream myself. And if there's a little bit of a rivalry between me and Jensen, then so be it. I want that to happen. So we'll see.
It'll be great for us to commentate on next season. That's for sure. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's
you'll
be
loving it, James. I know you'll be loving it. And the thing is, that's why I love this as well, because if the commentators enjoy it, they do their jobs better, and you are obviously, you two are really, really, really good commentators, and if there's a good stacked grid next season in January, then who knows? Let's just wait and see, I guess.
Let's wait and see, indeed. Alex, I'm gonna put the mic over to you. Any questions for Black Box?
Well, I will be honest here, I've been a little bit blown away with the feedback they've given us, because yeah, it's pretty much the first time that really we've been in the commentary box together as well, so to get this feedback from you first of all is absolutely amazing. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. I think I speak for both of us here when I say that, and yeah, I'd just like to congratulate you on the brilliant season that you've had. Obviously, you've excelled this season with some amazing performances. Today might not have been the one. I kind of speculated as well in the race, so you might have not taken a lot of practice for this. But yeah, you pretty much confirmed that in the first sentence you said. So yeah, even for that, I mean, this one's just maybe not quite a demonstration of what you could have done, but even still, it's such a great season that you've driven, and massive congratulations from me, and congratulations also on the NLR rig that you will be receiving. It's incredible that, you know, this sponsor's enabling this for you, and
yeah, it's incredible.
Well,
that's pretty much everything I've got to say, really. Yeah, it's just a great honor to be commentating on such class driving, and
I would like to just in response to that, yeah, you guys, I always say this to every commentator, but you guys especially, I appreciate you guys, because I know that the attendance has been low these past few races, and I know I always, sometimes James even gets a message from me apologising on behalf of the drivers, because James is a top quality commentator, and Alex, you're joining him now as well, and it's fabulous to see. If you're here next season, we'll all love it, and I hope we can bring more entertainment. Like I said before, this is what we want to do. I don't know about Jensen. I think Jensen just wants to win, but I've got Jensen in my mind too much. But he's living in my head rent free. But yeah, we'll see. I just want to thank you guys once again, and yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this amazing season.
Yeah, not being the straightest of races, put it that way. I think with only obviously 12 drivers racing tonight. I think 11 last week as well. We are going to fix that. I am absolutely guaranteed that we're going to be fixing that, because we're prioritising every single driver that turned up pretty much week in, week out, raced week in, week out. Every single person that does sign up, who is that person, will be, of course, placed already into their tiers, and also with tiers next season as well. Full-time reserves are going to be needed as well. Not part-time reserves, not these guys that just wash you about and only attend for a race and then leave after 3 weeks. We are going to be getting full-time reserves in as well. So hopefully that will plug the gap of some of the attendance issues that we've seen. And obviously we are going to look for much better and much more talented drivers as well for Season 9. The sign-ups do close, I believe, on the 11th of December, if I'm not mistaken. So get your sign-ups in. Everything is in the description there if you do want to sign up, of course, including the Discord link and, of course, the Google form. Yes, we've gone up in life, we've got a Google form, not the same old template through the Discord that we've done in the past. But final thing I want to say to Black Box, obviously, is well done on that championship win. That rig is going to be winging its way to you as an early Christmas present, I am sure. And hopefully you are going to be back again next season to defend your championship against potentially 2 former champions in Harry Banks and Jensen as well. And I'm going to let you go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much, man. And last question: who do I owe £10 to? Who won the race?
That was Rooty. So you're gonna have to unfortunately get into his currency and give him £10.
No worries, I'll get that done for Rooty. He deserves it after today's performance, making those mediums last. So.
Yeah.
There we go. So even money now on offer here in TML. We've gone up in life. We're like PSGL with a prize pool and everything, just smaller. There we go. That rounds us up very neatly, though. Big thank you to Black Box, though, for joining us. You can now go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much, man.
You are very welcome indeed, and that rounds us up very neatly indeed for tonight's live stream for League Racing TV and indeed for TML F1 this season. More action to come, including a championship battle in TML F4, which I have got the permutations for now. That is definitely going to be live streamed. Chicken, I know, is going to be attending there alongside Neymar. F4 championship decider tomorrow night. Ghost becomes champion. Ghost UK, if you're not understanding what has been happening in F4, Ghost becomes champion if, and only if, he's second and fastest lap, and Blacks gets no points. First and 16th or lower, and first and fastest lap and 15th or lower. And that, of course, is the permutations between Blacks, who is currently leading the championship. The standings at the moment are Blacks 228, Yellow Geeson, who's not going to be there, in second on 220, and Ghost there in third on 203. 25-point advantage for Blacks going into tomorrow night over Ghost. One hand on the championship. Looking into that as a bit of analysis, do you think he'll do it?
Realistically, it's obviously a massive mountain to climb, but never rule out anybody in this championship contention, and therefore everything is possible. I'm still thinking that this gap is probably big enough to hold on to, but you never know. I feel like it's still going to come down to the last lap of this Grand Prix tomorrow in F4. And yeah, certainly going to be looking forward to a very exciting fight for these top positions and for the World Championship.
Definitely so indeed. Yeah, Blacks has taken a majority of the race wins this season. I can certainly see he has taken, I think, 5 race wins. Ghost has been consistent with his second places. Hasn't run many races, though. I think, in fact, he's only won. I don't think he's actually won a race. Looking at the standings, yeah, he hasn't won a race. He's finished second. Best finishing position is second, so obviously the pressure is on Ghost to try and deliver there in the Red Bull tomorrow night. And of course, you can catch both TML F3 and F4 on League Racing TV tomorrow night at 8 PM UK time. I was going to say 8:30 for some reason. 8 PM UK time. If, like Black Box as well, you're still here from his viewership and you want to catch Black Box in action tomorrow, I'm not sure if he's doing WOR, but you can certainly catch me doing WOR, lead commentator tomorrow, but 8 PM UK time, same time as TML F3 and F4, so if you do want to tune in for that, you can. I would say prefer go here than streaming on YouTube for WOR. Go here rather than watch me. Probably the best thing to do, because I don't want to try and align myself with one league or the other. Trying not to be biased to any league here, but there we are. That runs up very neatly though for tonight, and indeed for the season for TML F1 and F2. We've already said our thank yous and everything, but a big thank you, of course, to Mr. Alex the G for joining me in the commentary box this season. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ready to do it all again next season?
Yeah, I mean, after the blast that really I've been having over these past few weeks, and yeah, this opportunity that really I've been getting, I feel like this is going to be super, super exciting again. And with more talented drivers coming in to the grid, it's only going to get better, isn't it? And then in that case, I'm absolutely ready to take on this new level of competition. And obviously, Black Box defending his crown. Will he be able to do it? We are going to find out in not too long.
Definitely not, indeed. And the British and Irish Esports Championship as well is also live on Monday night. Ivor Bryn Mike, who was a Welshman, taking to the action there. I don't know why call it the English and Irish and then have a Welsh commentator. It's just, I think, full circle from us, even League Racing TV. Yeah. That is, of course, Monday at 8 PM UK time, so if you do want to catch that, you can do indeed. And that will probably be our most action that we've got on League Racing TV, of course, until we start the Season 9 evaluation races in just 2 weeks' time on the 1st of December, with other dates to be confirmed potentially as well. We might move it around maybe to Thursday or maybe onto a Friday if that is the case. But we will let you know on the Discord, and that is the place to be if you do want to catch more action for TML and indeed for League Racing TV. But we're going to end it off here. I'm now going to watch I'm a Celebrity and hopefully see Matt Hancock drown in a pool doing unfair funfair or whatever the challenge is tonight. Hopefully he might go into that. But yeah, big thank you to everyone behind the scenes. A big thank you, of course, to everyone behind the scenes at League Racing TV as well for making this happen. We are going to end off here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next season, goodbye.
Goodbye.